Slot grinding and weld cleanup are essential metalworking techniques often used in fabrication, machining, and repair processes. These methods involve removing material precisely to create slots, grooves, or to refine welded areas for better aesthetics, functionality, and structural integrity. They are commonly performed using rotary tools like die grinders equipped with carbide burrs, which are small, high-speed cutting tools made from tungsten carbide for durability and efficiency. Below, I'll break down each technique in detail, including step-by-step processes, best practices, safety considerations, and specific tips on choosing between double-cut and single-cut carbide burrs based on the metal type. This information draws from standard machining practices with context from industry resources like those from the American Welding Society, AWS, and tool manufacturers such as Norton Abrasives or SGS Tool Company. Understanding carbide burrs. Double cut versus single cut basics. Before diving into the techniques, it's crucial to understand the tools involved. Carbide burrs come in various shapes, e.g. cylindrical, ball, flame, and cut styles, primarily double cut and single cut. Double cut burrs. These have two sets of intersecting flutes, creating a cross-cut pattern. They produce smaller chips and a finer finish, making them ideal for detailed work, deburring, and shaping. The dual flutes allow for faster material removal, but can generate more heat and vibration. Single-cut burrs. These feature a single set of parallel flutes, resulting in larger chips and a coarser finish. They are better for heavy stock removal and provide more control on tougher materials, as they tend to clog less and run cooler. The choice between them depends on the metal's hardness, the desired finish, and the technique's requirements. Always select burrs rated for high RPM, typically 10,000 to 30,000 RPM, and use them with appropriate PPE like safety glasses, gloves, and dust masks. Slot grinding technique. Slot grinding involves creating narrow channels or grooves in metal workpieces, often for fitting components, keyways, or decorative purposes. This technique is common in industries like automotive, aerospace, and toolmaking, where precision is key. It's typically done with a die grinder or Dremel tool fitted with a carbide burr rather than traditional grinding wheels for better access to tight spaces. Step-by-step process. Preparation. Secure the workpiece in a vise or clamp to prevent movement. Mark the slot's outline using a scribe or layout fluid for accuracy. Choose a burr shape suited to the slot, cylindrical or tree-shaped for straight slots, or pointed for intricate designs. Ensure your tool's speed matches the burr's recommendations, e.g., slower for larger burrs to avoid overheating. Initial material removal. Start with light passes at a 15 to 30 degree angle to the surface. Use a pecking motion, applying brief, intermittent pressure to avoid binding and reduce heat buildup. For deeper slots, work in layers, removing no more than 0.5 to 1 millimeter per pass to maintain control. Refinement and smoothing. Once the rough slot is formed, switch to finer cuts or a smaller burr to widen and deepen it evenly. Rotate the tool slightly to prevent uneven wear on the burr. If the slot needs precise dimensions, measure frequently with calipers and adjust accordingly. Finishing. Deburr edges with a file or sanding attachment, then polish with abrasive pads for a smooth surface. Vacuum or blow away debris to inspect for cracks or irregularities. Best practices and tips. Maintain consistent pressure. Excessive force can cause the burr to skip or dig in, leading to workpiece damage. Use cutting lubricants, like WD-40 or specialized oils, on non-ferrous metals to minimize friction and extend burr life. For safety, work in a well-ventilated area to avoid inhaling metal dust, which can be hazardous. E.g., aluminum dust is flammable. Common challenges include vibration causing chatter marks. Mitigate this by using a variable speed tool and starting at lower RPMs. Double cut versus single cut for slot grinding on different metals. Soft metals, e.g., aluminum, brass. Opt for single cut burrs. Their larger flutes prevent clogging from the gummy chips these metals produce, allowing smoother, cooler operation. Double key can load up quickly, reducing efficiency. Reserve them for final finishing if a very smooth edge is needed. Hard metals, e.g., steel, stainless steel. Double-cut burrs excel here due to their aggressive cutting action and finer chip size, which helps in precise slot formation without excessive force. Single cut may be better for initial heavy removal on very hard alloys like tool steel, as they provide more stability and less heat. Exotic metals, e.g., titanium, Inconel. Use single cut for roughing to handle the toughness and heat resistance. Switch to double cut for detailing to achieve better surface finishes without work hardening the material. Weld cleanup technique. Weld cleanup refers to the post-welding process of removing excess material, spatter, slag, and imperfections from welded joints to improve appearance, reduce stress concentrations, and prepare for painting or further assembly. This is critical in structural welding, e.g., pipelines, frames, to prevent corrosion and ensure joint strength. Carbide burrs are preferred over files or grinders for their speed and access to contours. Step-by-step process. Preparation. Allow the weld to cool completely to avoid warping. Inspect for defects like porosity or cracks using a magnifying glass. Select a burr shape based on the weld type. Ball or oval for bead cleanup. Flame for fillet welds. Rough cleanup. Begin by removing high spots and spatter with short, controlled bursts at a 45-degree angle. Focus on blending the weld bead into the base metal without undercutting, removing too much parent material. Contouring and blending. Gradually shape the weld to a uniform profile, ensuring smooth transitions. Use overlapping passes to avoid gouges, and periodically check with a straight edge for flatness. Final polishing. Switch to a finer burr or abrasive wheel for a mirror-like finish if required. Clean the area with a wire brush and solvent to remove residue, then apply anti-corrosion treatments as needed. Best practices and tips. Work from the center outward to prevent pushing debris into the joint. For overhead welds, use anti-gravity techniques like supporting the tool to reduce fatigue. Heat management is vital. Intermittent grinding prevents discoloration or weakening of the weld. If the metal is heat-sensitive, use water cooling sparingly to avoid shocking the material. Safety note: weld spatter can be hot and sharp. Wear full face protection. Also, ensure proper ventilation to handle fumes from certain alloys. Challenges like uneven welds can be addressed by practicing on scrap pieces to refine technique. Double cut versus single cut for weld cleanup on different metals. Mild steel and carbon steel, double-cut burrs are ideal for their fast material removal and smooth finish, efficiently handling the brittle slag and spatter. Single cut works well for very heavy welds where larger chips need to be ejected quickly to avoid clogging. Stainless steel and alloys. Single-cut burrs are preferable due to stainless steel's tendency to work harden and generate heat. Their coarser action reduces glazing and provides better control. Use double cut only for light cleanup to avoid scratching the corrosion-resistant surface. Non-ferrous metals, e.g., copper, aluminum welds. Single cut is generally better as it manages the soft, sticky chips without gumming up. Double cut can be used for precision finishing on aluminum, but apply lubricant to prevent loading. In summary, mastering slot grinding and weld cleanup requires practice, the right tools, and attention to material properties. For optimal results, match the burr type to the metal. Double cut for finesse on harder materials, single cut for efficiency on softer or tougher ones. If you're working on a specific project, consider factors like tool speed and burr size for even better outcomes. For more tailored advice, tools from manufacturers like Ferd or Makita offer detailed guides on their websites.